name is Morgan, and on behalf of all of us here at SeaWorld, I would like to take this moment to show our support to the men and women of our armed forces. And during these difficult times, those first responders who have worked tirelessly to fight this worldwide pandemic. We proudly welcome you and your families, and at this time, ask any members, past or present, of the United States military, as well as our other allies, and those first responders from around the world to please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring these men, women, and their families. Thank you for your service. Orca Encounter will begin in just a few minutes, but first, we'd like to present a short film to give you a better understanding of the Ursinus orca and its place in the world that we all share.
The ocean covers over 70% of the Earth's surface and is essential to all life, both in the sea and on the land. There's one animal that is the perfect ambassador for the ocean, and that's the Ursinus orca, or killer whale. In just a few minutes, you'll meet SeaWorld's killer whales. First though, let's find out more about these remarkable animals. Ursinus orca, or the killer whale, is the most widely distributed mammal on Earth. They can be found throughout the ocean, all around the world, including in the Arctic, the Atlantic, the Southern, the Indian, and the Pacific Oceans. No other single marine species lives in as many different ocean habitats or is as directly reliant on as many different types of marine life as the killer whale. More than any other marine animal, the Ursinus orca is the very embodiment of our shared global ocean. Until about 2 decades ago, scientists didn't know that there were actually several different varieties or ecotypes of killer whales. With effort and observation, however, we discovered that there are actually 10 distinct ecotypes, each differing in size, behavior, diet, lifestyle, and appearance. A striking characteristic of the orca is their black and white skin. This camouflage is called disruptive coloration. In a murky environment, this coloration can make them difficult to detect. Killer whales are countershaded. Their top surface is darker than their surface underneath. From below, looking up, they blend in with the light from above. From above, looking down, they're invisible against the dark depths. Killer whales are warm-blooded and breathe air just like we do. Killer whales are the largest members of the Delphinidae, or dolphin family. As you can see, they have impressive physical characteristics. Orcas have keen eyesight, both above and below the water. The dorsal fin of an adult male can be up to 6 feet in height. The powerful pectoral flippers and tail fluke can propel them through the water at a high rate of speed with great maneuverability. Their top speed is nearly 30 miles per hour. Killer whales use echolocation to hunt and to communicate. Communication is also accomplished through tail slaps, breaching, and vocalizations. You'll experience a variety of natural killer whale behaviors during Orca Encounter today. We ask our whales to replicate natural behaviors such as breaching, spy hopping, and tail slaps. While awe-inspiring and entertaining for our guests, these behaviors are also essential to maintaining the health and well-being of the killer whales in our camp. much remains to be understood regarding the Orcina's orca. One thing we do know, however, is that across the globe, they face real challenges as the general health of the prey populations and habitats on which killer whales depend suffer due to changes in the environment. In just a few moments, you'll encounter SeaWorld's killer whales and learn even more about these fascinating animals. As the most widely distributed mammal on Earth, the killer whale is uniquely positioned to represent the beauty, power, and fragility of the ocean.
Hello again, everyone! On behalf of our killer whale training team, I would like to welcome you to Orca Encounter. Being a part of SeaWorld's mission is more than just a job. We are proud of what we do, and it is a privilege for us to care for, teach, learn from, and build relationships with these amazing animals. Now, more than ever, we are excited to share our relationships with the killer whales with all of you here today. We all recognize a new way of doing things, like wearing face masks and social distancing. We ask your patience and cooperation as we safely navigate through this process together. As a reminder, properly worn face masks are required in all stadium areas. Now, at the end of today's presentation, please remain seated. Our operations ambassadors will be on hand to assist in the safe and timely exit of all of our guests. But until then, we hope you enjoy Orca Encounter!
Interconnected ocean. A vast blue expanse critical to life on Earth. And there's no better animal to represent the ocean's beauty than the killer whale.
They live in every corner of the ocean, from the Arctic to the Atlantic, the Southern to the Indian, to the Pacific and beyond.
The killer whale story is the ocean story, and it's one we all share.
We are one world, united by our ocean.
and problem-solving abilities. These behaviors keep our whales active and engaged. SeaWorld's killer whales have inspired generations of guests to care about our natural world. We're excited to share their story with all of you here today.
Killer whales are the ocean's top predator. They use cooperation and communication, not just size and strength, to take their place at the top of the ocean's food web. At the bottom are small animals, like krill. At the top, the apex predator, the killer whale. Killer whales are as big as a bus, faster than an Olympic swimmer, high-flying and powerful.
We're going to see all of that today and more. These and other behaviors provide an environment that is full of enrichment.
We spend days, weeks, months, years building relationships with our whales. This creates trust, and that allows us to do some amazing things. For example, when you visit the doctor, you present your arm to draw blood, or you step on the scale to see how much you weigh. It's much the same with our whales.
Today, you'll see our killer whales moving together in unison. These synchronized behaviors strengthen their social bonds and enable them to problem solve as a group. Working as a team makes them the ocean's top predator. Scientifically known as Orca, but more commonly referred to as killer whales. Here at SeaWorld, our killer whales, their names are Katina, Nilani, Malia, Trua, and Makayo. Makayo is our youngest killer whale at just 10 years old, whereas his mother Katina, who is the leader or matriarch of our pod, is 44 years old. Now, SeaWorld's animal training techniques create a language between us and the killer whales. It's a language of learning based on positive reinforcement, encouragement, commitment, and care. The whales learn to trust us. They even take an active role into their own health and well-being. Now, one of the first behaviors we train all of our killer whales on is a husbandry or health care behavior. So coming to our slide out area right here, we have our two male killer whales, Trua and Makayo. Now the trainers are simply going to ask the killer whales to roll over and present their tail flukes. Not only does this give us a great view of the entire underside of a killer whale, but it also gives us easy access to those blood vessels which are located on the white underside of the tail flukes. Now our veterinarians come at least once a month and get a blood sample and do a full checkup on all of our killer whales. You might notice the trainers rubbing down the tail flukes, the back, the dorsal fins, the pectoral flippers. This is one of the ways that we tell our killer whales good job. Killer whales are tactile animals, meaning they can feel that touch, and it's something that they really seem to enjoy. It also helps us build that relationship, that respect between trainer and whale. Now, another one of our healthcare behaviors is actually done in an adjacent pool, where we have a killer whale size scale. So we're going to ask our two male killer whales to demonstrate that behavior right here for us in our slide out area. So Trua is our largest killer whale we have here at over 6,250 pounds. Makayo is over 4,000 pounds. But when both of these males are full grown, they can weigh anywhere from 8 to 12,000 pounds. So they still have a whole lot of growing to do. From the dorsal fin all the way to the tail flukes is a heavy muscular area called the peduncle. With that still in the water, we wouldn't be able to get an accurate weight. So we simply ask the killer whales to raise their tail flukes up and out of the water. Awesome job, boys. Now this posture right here helps us ensure accuracy. So we know the younger killer whales are growing properly, the older killer whales are maintaining a healthy weight.
And the care isn't just physical. Mental stimulation and play are vital, and we surprise and engage with our whales at every opportunity. Play is how killer whales teach their young to hunt, and for the adults, play is important too. It seems that they just enjoy having fun. Making time for play is an important part of life for killer whales and for us.
I'm over here on the left-hand side of the pool, and I have a question for all of you out there today. How many of you love to play? Well, our killer whales love to play as well. Killer whales are observational learners, meaning that they learn from older killer whales just like we learn from older adults. So we're going to put that to the test today, and I need your all's help. So we're going to play the game of follow the leader. So I want you guys to stand up for me. Please make sure you have on your mask. Go ahead and stand up for me. Everyone stand up. And we're going to see if Makayo will follow you. So Kristen, what behavior do you want to do today? Awesome. So we're going to do a double peck wave. So Kristen and I are going to do it. I'm going to tell you what to do. 2 hands up in the air as high as you can over your head and a big wave hello. We're going to see if Makayo can mimic you guys. He got it! Wow, awesome job. You guys can have a seat. Now, killer whales can also be seen sky hopping or jumping completely out of the water to get a better view of their surroundings. So we're going to have Makayo demonstrate that behavior here in just a moment. When he does that big jumping stage, I want you guys to give him a nice big round of applause. Great job, Makayo. All right, on the other side of the stadium, we're setting up for a behavior we call a breach. Joe, whenever you're ready, go for it. Now, killer whales breach for a variety of reasons. To scratch an itch, to play, and to announce their presence. Trua is going to say, look at me, I am here. And you're going to know that by the 54 degrees of ice cold salt water. Everyone, give it up one more time for our audience volunteers and our killer whales. Now, SeaWorld's research and observation of the killer whales in our care has shed light on many mysteries about these amazing animals. For example, we know the gestation period of a pregnant killer whale is 17 months. That's information that would be impossible to get in the wild. However, some information can only be gained through field research. That's why SeaWorld partners with groups like NOAA and the Norwegian Orca survey to advance global education. Now, killer whales are powerful animals. Perhaps the best expression of that power can be seen when they hunt.
Killer whales stand apart. They have no natural predators, and just about any other ocean animal could be their dinner. Depending on where they live and their chosen prey, they've developed some epic hunting techniques. Off the coast of South America, killer whales will beach themselves, riding in on waves just long enough to catch prey. They'll also create waves that knock animals like penguins or seals from ice cliffs. Most importantly, they cooperate, communicate, and coordinate as a team. Here's footage of killer whales corralling a school of herring. A whale dips in and feeds, while the other whales keep the fish together with swipes of their tail flukes.
Killer whales create waves when they hunt. They use their tail flukes to stun prey. You're about to get a demonstration. For our killer whales, it means a fun activity session. But for you, it means you're about to get wet. In the wild, their diet depends on where they live and time of year. Unfortunately, overfishing, pollution, and other factors have a serious impact on some killer whale populations.
Killer whales are impressive animals. It's pretty obvious why they're the top predator in the ocean. That means killer whales are invincible, right? Wrong.
Killer whales depend on a plentiful food source and a clean environment. They're completely dominant, yet completely dependent.
When it comes down to it, killer whales are not the most powerful animal in the ocean.
Their future depends on you.
Through your actions.
Through the choices we all make.
We hold the future of killer whales and the oceans in our hands.